Hello, and welcome to another edition of the Shadow Gallery. I'm your host, James Donnelly. And hey, it's time for new comics. It's Wednesday after all. So, you'll have to forgive me, I'm a little out of it today. It's been kind of a long day, a little tired, but hey, I can take it. Yeah. Anyway. Okay, so, let's get to it. Let's not fuck around. Let's just get to it. Okay, so we're going to start with Batman Beyond number 3. Now, I love the limited series. I'm so glad, as I believe I've said before, that this is turning into a regular series. It's smart. It's fun. It has everything and more that the animated series had. It's a little bit more adult than the cartoon was, but not by much. It still keeps a somewhat playful attitude, but it's, it seems just a little bit darker from the offset. There seems to be some more stuff going on in here that they never really explored in the comic. Dana, Terry's girlfriend, seems to have a little of a family issue, perhaps, that we find out in this issue. But mostly it's about Batman and the future Justice League trying to stop the new Matter Master. Again, very entertaining read, good comic. The art's a little cartoony, and that's actually, now that I think of it, it's actually pretty good for this comic. Because, it's based on a cartoon, but it's not cut from the same cloth as the cartoon, if that makes sense. It's basically, it's like I said, it's a little bit darker, it's a little bit more not for kids, but, I mean, kids could easily read this and enjoy it, I think. But, I think fans of the series that are more of, an older age, people who either grew up watching it, or, which wasn't that long ago, but, but people who've been watching it now that it's back on the new cable network, The Hub, which also has Transformers Prime, which is a pretty damn cool cartoon. They can now get to see it, see some reruns, and catch up with what they might have missed. One way or the other, Batman Beyond, the comic series, is definitely worth checking out. It's only its 3rd issue. I'm sure you can find it at your local comic book store. So go ahead and check it out. Okay, so we're moving on. Moving right along here. Okay. So we got Brightest Day, number 21. And if that cover doesn't freak you out a little bit, I don't know what does. As we've seen from the last couple of issues of this comic, they are really ramping the shit up. Brightest Day had a bit of a slow start, but once the White Lantern ring kind of went online, if you will, it's really, really, really been quite good and very shocking, I might add. It opens with a particularly poignant scene in which the Atom, Ray Palmer, is at the essentially the site of what appears to be the death of Hawkman and Hawkgirl, and Hawkman and the Atom were best friends in their lives, so. It's nice to see that kind of moment, and discussing. This issue also discusses what happened in the end of the last issue with Aquaman, that he apparently is now dead as well. What seems to be happening here is that the heroes, not the villains yet. See, this is what's really interesting, is that the heroes seem to be being taken away from us, because I think that whatever the White Lantern's purpose is, which we're still not sure of, it seems to be that it seems to be benevolent, but it's also tragic because we've lost, the heroes who are resurrected. We're losing left and right. And this issue deals with, a possible threat to, another threat to the planet Earth, but more specifically, it deals with, Martian Manhunter, and the kind of after effect is of the issue, the really cool issue, Whatever Happened to the Martian Manhunter, which was a couple issues back, which was basically, a riff on Whatever Happened to the Man of Tomorrow, Whatever Happened to the Cape, Whatever Happened to the Cape Crusader, stories that have been very powerfully told. Alan Moore and Neil Gaiman. God damn it! Shut up. Sorry, it's just my phone. And now Jeff Johns and Peter Tomasi retold that story from the point of view of the Martian Manhunter. And this female green Martian, Decay, and how she kind of lulled him into this sense of, well, what might have happened, and how he believes that, he knows that it was all a lie, and, it's time for him to wake up from that dream and to do what needs to be done. And, again, a pretty difficult ending, perhaps. I mean, there may be a greater point to all of this. Whether or not the White Lantern is indeed kind of seeking out the lives of the heroes that were resurrected in order to somehow bring them back to peace. And that so far seems to be kind of the quest that the White Lantern ring is on. Or at least of an awareness of sorts. Like a self-actualization, if you will. If you're looking at the caste systems of what everybody seems to, I forget the exact model of the I believe the psychological, it's like a pyramid, and the highest the highest tier on that pyramid is self-actualization. It's the highest thing that a being can attain. But anyway, another really good issue. It just, it keeps getting more and more complex, and it seems to be getting more and more, the stakes are becoming higher, and that's always important when you're doing a comic. Because you can't keep a status quo for too long, especially with the way that things are changing in the, with all the mega events and everything like that. So things need to be shaken up every once in a while, and that's, and that seems to be, it's what Blackest Night did, is what Brightest Day is doing. Flashpoint, the big event of DC, I think this year, is going to be kind of, it's going to be another, big change event. So what will happen in that, I don't know, but we'll see. Coming up next, so we've got, we're going to cut to, not a commercial, but we're going to take a break for a few moments, and then we'll be back with the rest of this week's comics, so stick around.